Alright guys, before we dive into this video, something very important is going to happen today, right? It is right now the 14th of March. And that means in just a little bit, we are going to get ourselves the inflation numbers in the US. Now, you guys have all noticed that the entire banking stock list was just completely halted yesterday because things went absolutely haywire. Now, I think today that things could get even more crazy in regards to the Bitcoin price because of all this banking crushing. The Bitcoin price just shot up. And honestly, the way things are looking right now, depending on what numbers come out later yet today, you have to understand, inflation in theory is pretty good for crypto. But for the most part, regardless of what number comes out today, I think there'll be a lot of FUD and that could be reflected back upon Bitcoin and the rest of our cryptos. So again, I'll leave a link to Bybit down below. It's the exchange that I'm using to trade right now. Again, if you check Telegram, you can see I opened a trade at 21.7 thousand. I'll explain a little bit later as to why I did that. But yeah, be prepared for some volatile times. And again, guys, 12:30 p.m. GMT is going to be the inflation numbers from the US. It's going to be extremely important. And I would love to live stream it, but I'm right now heading over to AIBC, a conference, because I'm going to be speaking there. But yeah, all I'm trying to say is get prepared because this could be a very, very, very strange and very, very bumpy ride. People are not ready, you know? We've not seen banking stocks take such a brutal hit in a very long while. It's happening all over the world. It's going really crazy. So it's really funny to see the inflation numbers come out at a time like this. It's just going to be this is going to be crazy, guys. So be prepared. Alright guys, and before we move on, I also want to quickly tell you guys about Live Coin Watch. As you probably know, I have used this website for years on my channel. It's basically a website and app on iOS and on the Play Store where you can see all the crypto prices. Again, it's a website and an app. And one of the cool things is that they actually have a chat feature where you can talk to developers and just give your general feedback, etc. And if I look back at my crypto history, I have certainly used Live Coin Watch a lot more than CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko or any of these others because I just think it's a little bit easier to use and things just work a little bit better. The only reason I sometimes showcase CoinMarketCap in my videos is because more people are familiar with that than Live Coin Watch. But if we're talking about what I personally use all the time, I always use Live Coin Watch. And if you look back at the first, I think 4 years of me making crypto videos, this is what I always used to use. Just wanted to quickly mention that for you guys. Guys, it might be time that you sell literally everything that you own. And the main reason I am saying that is because Mr. Jim Cramer has just said a couple days ago that JP Morgan is a fortress. And that is very scary because we all know it's always smart to do the exact opposite of what Jim Cramer tells you to do. So if he's saying that JP Morgan, one of the biggest banks in the world, is a fortress, you better prepare for some massive crash to happen to that bank. That's why I tweeted out, all is lost. And I know that's partially a joke because I'm not kidding when I'm talking about the fact that he's almost always exactly like opposite wrong. What I mean is that it will all actually crash really hard, or rather that you should sell all, because there's a very big difference between the banking industry and the stocks for that and the opposite, which is the cryptocurrency industry. There's some overlap as we've seen with XRP, etc., but generally speaking, it is still quite different. All right, now one thing we should quickly make clear is that yesterday was a pretty big day for the crypto space. You guys have all seen it. We went up like crazy percentages, but, and here's the big caveat, well, it's quite debatable as to why it happened, but I'm thinking it's because the US banking stocks were halted as there was a lot of fear in that. Now, XRP lawyer John Dean believes Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse hints that crypto can save the US banking system in the current crisis. And there's something to be said about that Ripple has some disruptive tech for the banking industry that's right now just messing themselves up. And we have another article that's kind of in the nature of that things are kind of being manipulated for crypto to take over. But there's also another opposite way that's kind of saying that they want to just not get crypto in there. So it's always going to be pushed down, which is why Ripple's case was brought, which is why I'll share something with you in just a second. Here's also Ripple's top lawyer heaps praise on lawmakers over the SVB bailout. Well, generally speaking, the most important part of all this is that people are getting their money back for a small part, not everything, and I don't know if it's a full, considered a full bailout of sorts. They're just protecting depositors, which is still important, but not as hyped up as they're making it seem. To come back to the point, Ripple. Can Ripple save the banking system? Yes and no. The reason I'm saying that is because here was also crypto-friendly Signature Bank admitting they were never insolvent, but got shut down anyway because US regulators wanted to send a very strong anti-crypto message. To quote, hopefully you guys can't read it perfectly, but I'll read it for you. For his part, Frank, who helped draft the landmark Dodd-Frank Act after the 2008 financial crisis, said there was no real objective reason that Signature had to be seized. Quote, I think part of what happened was that regulators wanted to send a very strong anti-crypto message, end quote, Frank said. Quote, again, we became the poster boy because there was no insolvency based on fundamentals, end quote. And Bernardo on the right says, well, that message was received with cryptos going up. Sorry, they came to pick up the laundry. Anyway, wasn't it quite ironical indeed that cryptocurrencies, which were supposed to be kind of shot down with these announcements, was going up so hard? It's because of all this negativity towards the crypto space from these major banks, but we know they're afraid. We know a lot of this is manipulation, and I think the crypto shot up now, not because of some bank manipulation, trying to take it down, but because of true value being kind of like opened up a little bit. Let me rephrase that. Anytime you see a negative announcement for the banks, in theory, that's positive for crypto. Inflation in the real world, in theory, is very positive for crypto. However, most of the times when there are these very bearish announcements for banks, very bearish announcements for stocks, etc., usually crypto doesn't do that well because people see this investment, the Bitcoin investment, as a asset class akin to stocks and indices, basically. They don't see it as this hedge. They don't see it as in a similar manner as they see gold for the most part. And that's what's kind of hurting it, so to speak. Now, again, sometimes though, it slips through the cracks a little bit, like we've seen here yesterday, today, etc., with cryptos just going absolutely haywire. And it's fun to see how they're doing that in comparison to the S&P, which really didn't move up at all here, and then to see crypto just go absolutely zooting is always a very fun thing, and I always enjoy to watch that here. We're gonna still kind of actually, I didn't even notice that. We're still kind of following along with the pattern here of making a little half arch, or I guess a full arch or half circle, which is quite peculiar to watch. Let's see actually how this performs and whether or not we're going to cross above the $24,800 barrier and whether or not we're going to go further than that. Little side note as well, hopefully you guys have joined me on Telegram, but we opened a trade. Let me quickly check out exactly what point it was. We opened a trade yesterday at $21,700, and it's actually sometimes really crazy just to imagine how much profit you can make in a single day. I'm trading over on Bybit. I'll leave a link for that down below. It's the exchange of my choice because there are usually crazy bonuses. And a lot of you guys asked to do some trading competition soon. If you guys are excited for that, just make sure you press that like button and let me know down below because I can definitely get you guys another, I think usually we do like 30,000 XRP or so trading competition. Meaning, the person that trades the best in our community, only people that have used my link to sign up. The top guy wins, let's say, in total people are going to win 30,000 over the top 10. The top guy might win, a couple $1,000, which is usually pretty cool. Here, you can see a trading Rodeo as well, refreshed with $700,000 in rewards for all. There's usually cool trading competitions. If you're good at trading, usually this stuff can make you tons of additional money. Anyway, I try to say that we had a couple of very, very juicy trades over the last couple of weeks, and it all stems from just knowing the most important supports and resistances. It honestly is the truth behind it all. If you know where the most proper supports and resistances are, like for example, everybody could know that 20,000 was a major psychological barrier. I told you guys about two very important levels though. Previously, I told you guys about 21,700 just like 4 days ago or so. And unfortunately, we broke through towards the next major support area, but I opened my trade at 21.7 because I realized if we break above that yet again, it's mostly going to kind of keep zooting. And I tried to place a trade earlier at like 20 point something $1,000, but with high leverage, and I got stopped out because there was a pretty crazy wick somewhere. a little bit earlier, I guess a couple days ago somewhere. Anyway, USDC is also repegged like we talked about, and things are back on the up and up. My Ethereum that I bought at $1,500, which is pretty nice, is now also up a significant amount. XRP not that much up, maybe because of some of the negative SVB news, or because, well, banking stocks got halted and a lot of their basis is surrounding that. So I guess XRP is on like that middle ground of, well, if the banking stocks do bad, Ripple's not in the best positions. On the contrary, because the banking stocks do bad, crypto's doing good. So they're like, best of, I guess, worst of both worlds in that sense, because now they're kind of flat stuck in the middle, which is kind of funny to read. Anyway, the next couple of days are going to be very interesting to see how this will kind of ripple through the markets. What's going to happen to banking stocks, what's going to happen to major indices from here on forward. I'm just going to be watching it all from the sidelines here. I'll just keep on hoping that all this fiat stuff will not eventually get completely useless, because for the most part, it's going to wreck the poor. The rich don't really care for fiat to be destroyed. They'll find a new way to make a lot of profit. It's mostly on the lower echelons. And I think we first need to get the majority of the people understanding of the different ways to manage your financials, like for example through crypto, before this major shift happens, because I just think too many people are going to be on the losing side on this one. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this. See you guys later in another one.